everyone, this is Rachelle. Thanks for clicking on my video. And today I came in to talk about some of these police videos that have come out when there has been, police brutality against one of us, or there's actually been a murder of one of us. We're saying here lately, if you see it, film it. And a lot of people are really starting to do that. And it's helping to define the narrative of what actually occurred. Just here recently, we've had two murders, Terrence Crutcher and Keith Lamont Scott. And had it not been for those videos, we would not have known, what happened. And even with the videos, the police come in and they give their narrative of what happened. And basically, it's the person that has been hurt or murdered. It's their word against the police. And the only thing that helps is having a video. So when I thought about this, I thought about when we're filming stuff, how we can do it where it actually shows what happened. Now, the first thing that I say when you're filming something that you see is try to be safe. The reason why I speak about safety is because a lot of times when the police are committing acts against us that, they know are against the law and they see someone filming it, they have been known to confiscate the camera, the phone, the video, and turn that brutality against the person that is filming. So it is very important that if you're filming something, get to a safe place away from the police where they can't see what you're doing. Because we don't want that person who is trying to document what is happening, what is occurring to themselves, be hurt. Because I have read and seen so much online where a person has filmed it only to find themselves, once the police realize that they're filming, that brutality turned on them. We have even had people that have filmed it that the police, get their information and then they start a campaign against destroying that person. The guy that filmed Eric Gardner, when they found out that he was the person that filmed it, now he's in all kind of trouble. They pulled up his record and he is actually fighting, I think, not to go to jail. So when you are filming, get yourself into a safe place where they cannot see you, and then film what you are seeing. Zoom in if possible. And what I mean by that is, once you have gotten yourself to a safe spot where the police can't see you, and you start to film, try, if you have Zoom on your camera, to zoom in. And the reason why that is important is because remember in the Keith Lamont Scott case, there is all this speculation on whether when he got out of the car, if he had a gun in his hand, and also what were the things that were being thrown on the ground by the police. If we had a person there who had been filming other than the wife, because understand, she was standing there trying to explain to the police, that he didn't have a gun and that he meant them no harm. But just say that there had been someone else there filming and they had zoomed in on Keith Lamont Scott when he got out the car and we could clearly see his hands, then maybe a lot of what's going on now would not be happening. Also, once he was shot and he was laying on the ground and we saw police dropping things, if a person had been there and was able to zoom in on what those things were on the ground, maybe there would not be all of this uproar over whether it was a gun, whether it was a glove, and also we could clearly see what the police were doing once Mr. Scott was on the ground. We know that this is important because, again, it helps define the narrative. Mr. Scott was on the ground and he was slowly fading away. So he could not tell what actually occurred. He could not explain what happened after he got out that car. Because let's face it, he had been mortally wounded and he was laying there with blood, dripping from his body. And he wasn't, able to tell anything because basically, let's face it, he was dying. So again, once you get to your safe spot and you're able to film, try to zoom in on your camera because it is very important, again, to help define the narrative of what is occurring. Wait to release your video. And what I mean by that is let the police get their official statement of what happened on the record. Let them lie and cover up whatever criminal act that they have committed against that person. In the meantime, what you could be doing is backing up your video. Save it to a thumb drive and, send it to multiple email addresses that you have. Protect that video. Because what happens when we release our video before the police have gotten their official account of what happened on record, all they do is sit back, watch our video, and then they get their story together. And then they are able to come on and fit their story to what is shown in our video. And then take the case of this Keith Lamont Scott murder. The wife released her video. Say that there had been a person there that was filming and they had saved their video. They had waited till the police got their official account on record. And this person's video showed more than what the police said happened. It would put the police in a defensive mode. They would be trying to, correct what they said and, discredit the person's video, saying that it was doctored. But when you think about it, once your video comes out, they can't take back what they originally said. They can't really change their lives because you have waited to get your video out. And it helps that family fight the police in the death of their loved ones. So once again, wait until the police have done their official initial investigation, and then they have come on television and given their press conference detailing what happened. Then once that has occurred and all that official police work has been done initially, then take your video after you have saved it to all these different places to a trusted news source and give that video to them so they can get it out. And then what that does is it contradicts what the police have said. And then they will have to come on and explain what is shown in your video. Y'all, I know even with all of this, there is still the fact that the police will more than likely get off. But we have to do something. We have been saying for decades, telling people what the police do to us, and they don't believe it. But now all of these videos are starting to come out, and it's making people kind of doubt the stories that the police are saying. We are starting to define and document what is happening to us. So I only wanted today to give maybe pointers on how we can do a better job of, filming these police when they're in the act of doing something to us. I even saw online nowadays that the police are putting up the hoods of their cars to block the dash cam video. Now, that is really something. We already have them, saying that, they didn't have their body cam on when, someone is murdered. We have got to help these people that are being the victims of police brutality, define what actually happened. Because once these videos come out, all the police are going to do is pick them apart like we see that they're doing, So I'm not going to, belabor this or keep on explaining or giving pointers. We know what we need to do to make sure that we get this stuff on film correctly. So again, try your best to do the best when you're filming something that has occurred to us. Guys, thanks for watching my video, and I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye now.